Okay, so I am with the City Administrator of Forest Lake, Aaron Parrish. So, Aaron, what are we doing here today at the Forest Lake High School?
Well, we're here tonight. We've got MnDOT representatives here talking about the Highway 61 and 97 improvements. And really, the concept involves the construction of two roundabouts at both the north and south legs of those intersections, as well as some pretty significant pedestrian improvements and a pedestrian overpass over Highway 61. And so we're actually really encouraged by the turnout. We got a lot of people getting feedback. We have business owners here that want to know about construction sequencing and impacts to their businesses. We have residents here that are providing their feedback on the proposed improvements. And so it really is a good opportunity at a very early stage in the project design for MnDOT and their consultants to get feedback to help make the project more successful when they start construction.
Awesome. And then the only question I have for you, which you might be able to answer, what type of cost involvement does the City of Forest Lake have towards this project, or is it strictly Washington County or MnDOT?
The lion's share of this project is being financed with a federal grant that MnDOT had acquired. But with all MnDOT projects, there are some local costs, and so we will have a share of the pedestrian overpass, and we'll also have a share of the intersection that flows out in both the north and south legs, because there are city streets that flow into that. And so our project estimate at this point, and it's very early and very preliminary, is in that $600,000 to $700,000 range for our local costs. But certainly as the project is designed and refined, that number could change for us.
Awesome. Well, thank you very much, Aaron.
No problem. Thanks, Tim.
All right, I am with Adam Josephson. He is with MnDOT. We are here today at the 9761 Roundabout discussion of a project that is coming forth in the coming years. Can you just explain what this open house is about?
Well, the roundabout construction we're looking at starting in 2015 towards the fall and then finishing up in 2016. So we have some roundabout concepts here that we want to bring out to the community. We've been talking with the school and the city and other parties, but we really want to get out to the community and hear what the residents' feelings are, pro and con, for this project.
Is this project already funded?
The project is funded. We applied through a special federal program a few years ago and received funding for it.
All right. And then these plans that the residents and people are seeing today, are these the final plans, or could there yet still be changes made to them or like adjustments?
These are not the final plans. These are preliminary layouts, but I would say 90% of what you see is what you're going to get ultimately during construction. But there's some tweaking, I guess, that still needs to occur. We do expect that there'll be roundabouts. That really isn't up for discussion. But there are different pedestrian ways that might make sense, that when we interact with the public, they might suggest something different. So there's still some needs to refine it based on public input. Another big area of interest, and we'll get into it at an open house later, will be how do we actually build this? What kind of issues will we have with the public getting through the construction zone, and what other impacts might detoured traffic in the area caused for the residents as well. So those will be ongoing discussions.
One of the, a lot of people probably go back to think of the roundabout that was put in Forest Lake back in 2010. It seems like this intersection is at times busier because of the school traffic, and also has more lanes of traffic going through that. What are some of the things you guys as MnDOT had to plan to kind of work the system around that?
The traffic volumes are definitely higher at these two intersections of 97 and 61 than they are at Broadway and 61. So we're having to account for those higher traffic volumes, and the design of these roundabouts will be a little bit different than what you see up at Broadway. That right now is a single lane roundabout. These will be what we call a hybrid, where some of the traffic movements have to be two lanes. There's just so much traffic that they'll have to be two lanes, but we are also trying to minimize it a little bit by having some areas be one lane, so we don't have some of the same issues that we had up at Broadway.
And Broadway started out as a two-lane, then eventually went to a one-lane. Is that even a possibility for this one?
The Broadway one, when we designed that one, we designed for a 20-year traffic volume. so we oversized it a little bit. We're realizing as we build more and more roundabouts in the state that they really work better if you design them for the current traffic volumes or something within 5 years, and then make them so they're expandable in the future to accommodate that 20-year traffic volume. So that's what we're doing at these roundabouts. We're looking at what it needs to be today, and then also looking at what it might need to be in the future, and make it so we can expand it in the future.
So we might one day eventually see the roundabout at Broadway become a 2-lane again.
I would say that's a certainty. As the volumes in this area increase due to development and a lot of other things, at some point it'll probably have to be converted back to 2 lanes.
Okay, so now are these projects, how long of a year span is it? Is it like a 20-year plan like you were talking? As most of the residents know, the school district is looking at possibly expanding their high school and expanding some of their school facilities there, as then I'm sure traffic will grow, as the years go on. Is this stuff MnDOT has all taken into consideration?
We're working closely with the school district. We know there's a bond referendum coming up in May, and how that comes out might have some effects on this area as well. So we'll continue to work with the school and the city on looking at what potential future redevelopment might occur in this area. So we do keep all that in mind. Like I said, we are designing for the current traffic volumes, but we also are keeping an eye towards that future. So we'll build in some flexibility so we can adjust to that.
And then lastly, going in or coming off of 61, going into that intersection, it's 45 miles per hour as well as for 97. I'm guessing speed changes will have to happen because of this project?
That's yet to be determined. I expect they probably will be adjusted, but the way MnDOT sets speeds is we'll build the improvement, we'll come out and we'll do a speed study and look at what speeds people are operating at, and then we'll post it accordingly. So that's all in consistent with state statutes on how speed limits are set.
Definitely. And then lastly, what is our how is MnDOT working with the City of Forest Lake and also Washington County on this project?
We've met a number of times with Forest Lake staff as well as the City Council. We were at a City Council work session here within the last month. We'll continue those discussions. There are no county roads immediately impacted by this project, but we do coordinate with them on a regular basis as well. So they're definitely aware of this project. Hardwood Creek Trail is something they manage, so we work with them on any impacts to that. Not that we're really expecting any with this project, but we look at a lot of partners, both at the local level, be it the county, the city, the watershed district, and at the state level with, say, the DNR or those types of agencies. So we're coordinating at a lot of different levels.
All right. And then what are the plans from here?
We'll look at the public input that we get here, and if adjustments need to be made, we'll look at what's reasonable and can be adjusted. A lot of it's more information. We're providing the information to the public, getting them really a first look at this project. So it'll be interesting to hear what our feedback. We've heard a large range of feedback at tonight's meeting, but we'll continue that dialogue moving forward with the community.
All right, well, that sounds good. Thank you very much, Adam.
Sure.
All right, I'm with the city engineer of Forest Lake, Ryan Goodman. We are here at the open house today to talk about the 9761 Roundabout project. Can you talk about what the city is contributing to this project as it's mainly headed by MnDOT?
Okay. Yeah, with this and these improvements that are proposed at this intersection of 97 and 61, we do have two local legs. 210th Street there, and then the side street coming in the local businesses on the west side of 61. So we're looking at those areas and reviewing them closely and working with MnDOT basically to line up with our roadway systems very well. But we also have a interest in the pedestrian facilities that are being proposed here and how can we improve the safety of that. So some other things that we're working with closely with MnDOT is also with the watershed district, so we can work on drainage improvements and improving discharge, stormwater that discharges down into Clear Lake. So those are the things that we're working on here closely. We do attend monthly project management team meetings with MnDOT and MnDOT staff and MnDOT's consultant to review a status and discuss scope of work or things that we need to be presenting to the public, such as tonight's open house. So.
Perfect. And then my only other question is the city looking at any other side streets that might need to be adjusted because of this project, and at the same time possibly redoing the high school and the other junior highs starting to earn more traffic in the coming years? Are there other side projects of side streets that the city might be looking at in the coming future?
We don't have anything in our short-term CIP with questions that you've asked, but in our long-term comprehensive plan, there are some areas that are identified as additional developments or traffic would present those improvements and the reasons why they would be needed. But currently right now we don't have any public improvements in the area other than some maintenance type of projects and work like that. So.
All right, well, thank you.
You're welcome. Thanks.
The school is a pretty big partner in this because we realize there's a lot of students that utilize the area. And this portion of 61 is a pretty heavy movement, and so one of the concerns safety-wise was a pedestrian bridge in the area. So there is a raised pedestrian bridge that would cross 61, provide access to the trail at Hardwood Creek, and then also the ability to access the businesses that are in these areas. So we know that this is a destination, particularly for the students.
Kind of curious the cost of this bridge and this project,
there's no
because the
intersection
number of
even
kids
making
that
stop.
go
They're just
through here,
Cross right there.
I don't see a lot of kids using that. Is that really an effective way to utilize the money by adding that? I mean, I understand safety and everything else, but I don't see anybody using it, and I don't.
The kids are going to come across that road up by St. Peter, take 11th Avenue and go over that way.
Yep, most
They're
of
not
them
going to
already
go the
do.
long way.
It would be cheaper for the city and the county and the state to finish the sidewalk all the way around here and forget the bridge.
But the Hardwood Creek Trail is just one destination, and we know that the businesses here are also a big destination for them. Just even like the burger and the burrito place and the gas station in the area. So, it does provide access to the trail,
Right.
but there is an existing. It's not shown, but there is a connection here that's existing where they would utilize the bridge and then access these businesses. So.
Well, also, since putting the bridge on 11th across the freeway there,
Where we used to
Over
have
by
an
the
exit on
freeway.
35.
well, when you put that bridge there, you already rerouted everybody from Wisconsin and stuff because they know there's a bridge on my street. So instead of using these intersections at all, they turn down here and go down 11th Avenue. Have you guys done a traffic study on our streets at all? When you start construction here, everybody's going to want to avoid the construction, so it's all going to come past my house. Through the school zone, through the crosswalk.
Two school zones because
And a
they
church.
and
Two
a church.
schools.
Yep, two churches two churches, and all of our houses.
Well, looking in this area, I mean, you guys drive this quite a bit as well. We've gotten a lot of comments, just some of the problems that people are seeing out here. So we've definitely gotten feedback that people would like to see an improvement in the area.
Well, I drive that at 6 o'clock in the morning. And at that first roundabout, I'm never going to get on with all the people coming from Wisconsin.
They come across one lane of traffic, they can pause out here and then cross again. So we know that a lot of students want to kind of either come up to the north or come
Or they
across.
go the other way by St. Peter and come
Many
out.
of them come this way.
It's an intersection that needs work. Yes. We need a right turn lane there. Exactly. Yeah.
I won't disagree that intersection needs work. We're trying to deal with this one, and the city has encouraged.
Turn lane right here can't be understand.
This is the street where all the kids walk. There's no sidewalks. They walk in the street, free abreast, and that you're going to have people. It's going to be like a bowling alley.
And you got that three-way crossing here where nobody stops.
There's a higher volume on 11th Avenue than people realize.
Yes, there's a lot of issues around the community. This is trying to address this
How
one
long will
area.
this take realistically?
Well, we're really trying to work around the school schedule as well. So we're thinking we'll start some construction late summer, fall of 15, and try to do work like this is a new roadway that'll be in the middle of the. This is where the existing road is. We can build this road without impacting traffic. So we're going to look at what we can do in late 15 to build things offline. In 2016 is when we'll see the major construction going. We also need to be cognizant of the operations at the school as well as the community at large. So the bigger traffic impacts will tend to be the summer of 16.
Well, I know when I come here at 6 o'clock in the morning, there's a line on 97, so I'm going to have to sit and wait for all them people to go to get my turn to get in.
Yep, we'll have to look through all those things. Now, a lot of traffic's just
Doing the same thing.
a lot of traffic's passing through the area, and they don't want to be stuck in traffic either. So we'll have a regional detour we'll set up and try to direct people away and
I'm
around
talking
the
about when
area.
this is finished.
Oh,
When it's finished, you're still going to have that long road of trucks and semis and everything else coming from Wisconsin that I'm going to have to sit and wait for to get around.
well, like the roundabout to the north, you have to yield the traffic that's in the roundabout, but we can handle more traffic with the roundabout than a signal.
Is this roundabout bigger than the other one?
It is a little bit. We have some problems out here. We'd like to fix them, and we think the roundabouts are the right way to do that. So we developed a concept at the time. We applied for those funds, and then they're ranked against other projects. We had to determine this concept much earlier in the process than we normally would.
Okay, so I'm with the City Council member Susan Young for the City of Forest Lake. We are here at the open house. Can you explain what we're doing here today?
Sure, MnDOT is here. They're showing us some very preliminary designs for the two roundabouts at 97 and 61. These will improve the safety of those intersections, but while the designs are still really in the early stages before they've got anything nailed down, we wanted folks to be able to come and say, okay, I think that this turning might be hard to do. Where are these sidewalks going? What about this pedestrian bridge? How will you link from here to here? So that the MnDOT engineers can hear from people that actually use these intersections, how they work, how they don't work, and look at their very beginning designs and see how they might be better.
Wonderful, and it seems like we have had a great turnout today for several people coming to see. What are some of the positive things you're hearing about it, and what are some of the concerns people have?
The positive things I'm hearing over and over again is that south intersection of 61 and 97 is so horribly dangerous if you're trying to come north on 61 to go west on 97. It's just abysmal, and everybody that I've talked to is like, oh yes, please make that one right now. Some of the negatives that I've heard, people are not quite sure how the high school students will use either bridges or sidewalks or crosswalks. There's a feeling that you just can't make high school students go on a sidewalk. They're going to walk down the middle of the road, whatever. So people are concerned about that. Those are most of the concerns. There are some folks that are concerned about trucks speeding and being so fast, especially with the trucks from the mines.
It right now is a 45 mile per hour speed limit going in from both 97 and 61.
It is a 45 mile an hour speed limit now, but a lot of people don't realize that. And one of the problems with designing intersections is that engineers design for capabilities and curves and cars and speeds, and humans aren't always really good about following those designs or following those rules. And we can't really human-proof the intersections, but with the amount of advice and input that MnDOT's getting tonight, I think that they'll be able to do a pretty good job. They're going to try.
Awesome. Well, thank you very much, Susan.
Thank you. I appreciate it.